Hey guys, quick hello from Busan, from the United Nations Memorial Cemetery, Korea. A particular message to Mrs. Olwyn Green. So Olwyn, this recording's especially for you because I wanted to show you something which I know you've been wanting to see in person for a while, and it's right here. You can see this is a quilt which has been stitched by a group of ladies. The name of the quilt is the Korean Honour Roll Quilt Australia, and it's basically in 3 parts. It's been hand stitched using fabrics and techniques that are inspired by Korean Buddhist artistic traditions, and it's a wonderful expression. It's largely sort of appears to be in black and white. Although some of the colours are sort of cream and grey, and there's this shading which gives it a sense of depth and a sort of mystery to it. You're drawn into having a look more at it. The top panel is a representation of the topological features of Kapyong, where a famous battle was fought in April 1951. The centre panel is a musical representation of some of the music to the tune of The Last Post, a very fitting piece of music which is played particularly during military commemorative services, but also at the end of each day, at the end of each military day, as a sort of protocol, it's played to say that's the end of the day. And thirdly and importantly, on the bottom are as you can see, a listing of the 340 Australians killed in action, including the missing in action Australians as well. It's really wonderful, and it's great to spend time. I've been reflecting here on the piece, Olwyn, for a good while actually, and it's very impressive. It says here on the plaque, which I think does it justice, that your wish, as in Olwyn, your wish for the quilt to be accessible to future generations, to quietly contemplate the suffering and loss of war, has been fulfilled with this display. And that's certainly been the response that's been provoked in me, and I'm sure watching other people come through this room, they've had the same response as well. It's sort of comforting seeing the quilt, because we like to be cosseted with a nice quilt when we're comfortable in bed and relaxed. So I sort of personally I find that association is very, very rich, and a great contrast. It sort of jars in the right way when we consider this contemplation of suffering and loss of war. Very heavy subject. Just to bring it home to what we're talking about, Olwyn, your great book, The Name's Still Charlie, which if people want to read a great love story, I highly recommend you find it and get your hands on it. If you can't get a copy, contact me. I'm sure I can get one to you. Here's the book here, and it's on a page. It talks about when Olwyn was advised about her husband's death, and the Padre Lang, was telling her in a letter about the last moments of Charlie Green. Charlie, while he was conscious, says to Padre Lang, he said, I know, Padre, I'm finished for soldiering. Very, very brave words for Charlie Green to be saying. And this book, I think, I've read that book before, but it's the first time I actually remember reading those words, and it's such a interesting statement by a great man. And then the Padre goes on to say that his last words were, "Write to my wife, Padre." And then he ends his letter by saying, "His end was very peaceful. just a quiet slipping away. His vigorous will to live was gradually overcome by his weakness physically. And then he talks about other people how they responded to his death. But Olwyn, I just wanted to bring you into this room along with everyone else and show you this quilt, which is a great tribute to those people who served and sacrificed in Korea. So Olwyn, thanks for the work you've done over the last many years to help us contemplate the suffering and loss of war, not the least of which is through the production of this great quilt. Lest we forget.